Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my Perfume Diaries series. And in these videos, I update you guys on the fragrances that I have been wearing from my monthly perfume tray, any fragrances that I am going to be decluttering from my collection, and any updates that I need to give you guys on the fragrances that I am currently wearing. If you are new here and you love all things girly, fragrance, beauty, self-care, body care, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss any future uploads. And with that said, let's get right into today's video. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and let's start with the update for the first half of April. And I actually have 4 declutters, which I thought long and hard about these. 2 of them I kind of knew right away that they were going to be leaving my collection. And then 2 of them I was kind of back and forth with, but I am just going to go ahead and let them go because I do like to declutter every once in a while. I always have fragrances coming into my collection. I'm always trying new things. So this way I kind of keep the collection at a decent size. Let's start off with the declutters first. My first declutter is one that I think the scent profile just doesn't work for me, and I find it beautiful every time that I spray it. I really love it. I love the way that it smells, but it's one of those fragrances, I don't know if any of you guys can relate to me, where you'll spray it and it smells amazing, but like after an hour or two you're kind of over it. That's kind of what I feel with this one. So I'm just kind of going to give up on this scent profile because I already tried 2 and they just weren't for me. So unfortunately, Kissa Pink is going to be leaving my collection, and this fragrance literally kind of reminds me of the Starbucks pink drink. It just smells very pink and creamy, berries, very fruity, but in a very unique way. It's not like a tropical fruity, just more of like a strawberry pink berries type of scent, along with like if it was mixed with some type of cream or milk. And this one doesn't have as much musk as the Lattafa Yara did, which I really like that fragrance, but then I had the whole DMV experience and it just started smelling worse and worse after that. Yeah, it's just not one that I consider a love. So I am trying to be very mindful of not keeping likes in my collection because I kind of try to stay on track, and then every once in a while I kind of just start going off track and I'm just keeping all these likes. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep fragrances that I really enjoy. There's always going to be a few likes because I'm always going to be in the middle of testing fragrances, but I'm just trying to keep it as curated as I possibly can as a content creator that talks a lot about perfumes. It can get a little difficult sometimes, but yeah, this one's really pretty. There's really nothing wrong with it. This is just not for me. It's not one that I enjoy long term. It was like nice 1 or 2 times, but then after that I kind of just got tired and over it quickly. But yeah, that is Kissa Pink. Next up, another fragrance that's going to be leaving my collection. This one, I'm starting to just realize that from this brand, their gourmands are literally gourmands. Like they smell like food. And I don't do too well with those types of fragrances. I prefer gourmands that have like a perfumey touch to them, some sexiness to it, but you still get that gourmand touch to it. So I thought I was going to end up keeping this one, and it kind of started feeling the same as the one that I decluttered last month. So this is from the TOA brand, and this is Coconut Gelato. This one is much better than Pistachio Gelato for me. It's a little bit sweeter. It's super creamy. And my husband really loved this one on me. He told me I smelled like cocoa butter, and that's not really my favorite type of scent. So he enjoyed it, but I was just kind of like, this is not going to stick around. So enjoy it while I have it on now, because I just didn't really feel like I loved what I was wearing. It wasn't a bad scent at all. Just not one that I want to smell like. It smells very creamy. You definitely smell the coconut, but there's something about these gourmands from the TOA brand that I'm pretty sure if you love true gourmands, you would absolutely love these. But this one as well is just not for me. But I do want to try other fragrances from the TOA brand, like more perfumey ones, because I've only tried 3 fragrances from the TOA brand. When it comes to performance and longevity, they are amazing on me. So I definitely do want to try a few different ones from there. These just didn't work out for me. This next one, I went back and forth with over and over again, but I just realized that my heart is with the original one. So this is Burberry Her Elixir, and I went back and forth a few times really liking this one and enjoying it, but then lately I feel like it's just smelling a little sharper to me. I'm not really enjoying this one as much as I enjoy the original Burberry Her. That one is just my favorite. I love the powdery fluffiness in it. So this one I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter because I know I'm not going to reach for this one as much as I should be. And last but not least, this is another one that I just kept wondering if I was going to regret getting rid of it, but this is a very pretty scent. I was waiting until springtime to see how I was going to feel about this one because I did get this when it was colder outside and I liked the scent of it. It was really girly, easy to wear, very pretty. But I have other fragrances for spring and summer that I think I will reach for way more than this one. And this one is Kayali Eden Sparkling Lychee. I really prefer Eden Juicy Apple over this one. I've always loved that one. That one is like one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I can put it on any time of the year and I am going to enjoy it. This one is definitely more sparkling. The lychee is there and you definitely get rose with this one, and it has kind of like a candy smell to it. But this is another one that it's not like a long-term love. I loved it for a little bit, but I just don't see myself reaching for this one a lot. So those are the 4 fragrances that are going to be leaving my collection. If you're interested in any of them, they are going to be listed in my Mercari. The link to my Mercari will be in the description box. If you're interested, go ahead and check those out. I'm going to be posting them probably the same day that this video goes live. I try to put the videos up before I put the fragrances on my Mercari so that you guys can have first dibs on them. So that is it for the declutters. Now let's talk about the fragrances that I have been wearing this month. And I am quite obsessed, I think, with every single one of these. So this first one, I am so in love with it. I have been in love with it ever since I got it, but I am so upset because this is an expensive fragrance and I was very lucky to have this gifted to me. But for it being a niche and expensive fragrance, the atomizer should not be messing up the way that it has. So this is Maison France's Kurkdjian and this is Gentle Fluidity Gold. I absolutely love this fragrance. I think it's so beautiful. I want to show you guys this, but this is literally going to squirt across the room. And I don't know where it's going to land, but I don't know if you guys are going to see this. Did you see that? I don't even know if you can see. It's literally squirting in a straight line. It's not spraying. I don't know what to do. If any of you guys have any tips, if you had this happen. I took this part out thinking that maybe it was something in here and nothing is working. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna keep on wasting the fragrance trying to fix it. So I'm just really upset about that because now I can't really spray it on my clothes because it's just going to leave like a really big like drip stain on there. So I have to make sure that I get it on my skin and then I kind of have to like pat it, which is not what I want to do with my fragrances. So yeah, I'm pretty upset about that because this fragrance is not a cheap fragrance at all. It should not be happening. Gentle Fluidity Gold is not your typical vanilla. It's not a gourmand vanilla. It's not a cupcake vanilla, not the type of vanilla that you're going to find everywhere. This is a very elevated, unique vanilla. It is woody, it's a little powdery, it has juniper berries, it has coriander, so it does give it like a little bit of spice and warmth. It's just a very sophisticated, beautiful, sexy vanilla. I have no bad things to say about this fragrance, about the longevity, the performance, and actually now that I've had it for like 2-3 years, it is getting darker. The juice is definitely darker, and I feel like it's definitely more dense. It has gotten thicker, it has gotten stronger, the longevity has gotten even better. So before, when I first got this fragrance, I used to describe it a lot as like dainty, and now I don't even know if I would describe it as that because it has literally turned into a little bit more beast mode. It has gotten stronger. Now, this is in the same family as Roses Vanille and Intense Cafe. So Roses Vanille is from Mancera and then Intense Cafe is from Menthol. So if you have smelled any of those two, this is in that same kind of scent DNA, but this one's kind of like the more dainty one out of those fragrances. Those are way stronger, way more intense. There's coffee in Intense Cafe. There's no coffee in here, but yeah, it's just a very beautiful vanilla. It's very chic and I feel like it's so sophisticated and beautiful, but I am just very upset about the atomizer. That's all I gotta say about that. Next up, we have Burberry Her, and this is the original Burberry Her. So this is the one that I ended up keeping in my collection. This is the only one that I have. As you can see, it gets loved. And this one, I just love it because these two smell so similar to each other. The only difference to me is more in the finish of the fragrance. So you're still smelling the same kind of scent DNA, but this one is going to give you a little bit more syrupy vibes and definitely more black currant in here. And then the original Burberry Her is going to give you a little more muskiness, powdery. It feels more fluffy and airy. And I just love those types of fragrances. So this has strawberry, there's raspberry in here, there is blackberry, sour cherry. There is a lot going on, but honestly, I just get a lot of strawberry. This is like a strawberry, yummy, sweet, fluffy, powdery fragrance. So I love this one. The longevity of it is not super duper long lasting, but not horrible either. I would say I can get like 4 to 6 hours out of this one, and that is enough for me. I'm okay with that. And this one definitely is one that when I wear it, my family can smell it on me, they compliment me, and it's just a very nice fragrance. And when I spray this fragrance, I just love it. So I know that the Burberry Her for me is the original. The Elixir, I was in love with it at one point. It was funny, when I first got this one, I wasn't as in love with it, and then all of a sudden I started really enjoying it, and now I'm back to just, I prefer the original one. Next up, we have Ellis Brooklyn, and this is Apple Love. I started off with a travel size of this fragrance, and I was going back and forth with this one, wondering if I should get a full size because I did struggle with the longevity of this fragrance. It is not the best. I didn't know if it was worth it to get it because of that. But in my trip to Miami during the holidays, I used this fragrance and I mixed it a lot with my other fragrances, and it stuck to my clothes so beautifully. I feel like the longer you have this fragrance, it will get a little bit better with time, and it just adds this very beautiful apple, musky, sugary. I definitely pick up the vanilla in here, which is crazy. I didn't expect to pick that up, and it's definitely different from my other apple fragrances that I have. So I'm very happy with it. This is another one that every single time I put this on, my husband goes crazy over it. I don't know what it is about this fragrance, but he will always, every time I'm wearing it, he will just like pull me closer to him. He'll tell me that I smell really good, and it just gets him really excited. So Apple Love is a really, really good fragrance. I love Ellis Brooklyn. I do love a lot of the fragrances that they come out with. So the longevity in this one is not the best, but I love to layer with it. Like I said, I love to wear it on its own as well. I just know that with this one, I am going to have to reapply if I'm trying to wear it like the entire day. But this one's great for every day, for casual wear, for running errands, for going to the mall, going shopping. You want to smell good, you want to smell pretty. It's not anything that's like beast mode or crazy, but these are my types of favorite fragrances. So this is a really beautiful one. Next up, we have a very fruity, beautiful fragrance for springtime. This is TOA Simone, and I absolutely love this fragrance. I've been using it a lot this spring again. There's a pretty big dent going on in this fragrance, and I like to kind of describe this one as the older sister to Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice. So if you love that type of scent DNA where it's like watery, it's fruity, but maybe you want something that's a little bit more elevated, a little bit more complex, it has a little bit more to it, this would be kind of like your next step up. So this also has watermelon like L'Imperatrice does, but this one has florals added to it, and it just has a little bit more going on. Yeah, it definitely smells more perfumey, so you can definitely dress this one up a little bit more, but it definitely has that springtime vibe to it. It's juicy, it's flirty, it's bright, super girly and feminine. It just makes me think of wearing a sundress or wearing like just a very pretty spring outfit with some spring makeup and maybe like some loose curls or something in your hair. It just smells very soft and feminine and put together and pretty. And this one is one that the longevity is average for me. It's not super duper long lasting, but it does perform well. I have no complaints about it. It smells really nice, and it's one of my favorite fruity floral scents for springtime. Definitely one that I recommend. So that is TOA Simone. And then these two last fragrances were newly added to my collection, and when I tell you I have been so obsessed, I'm gonna save my all-time favorite one for last. I have already talked about it in previous videos, but we're going to continue with Commodity Paper Personal. So this one is new to my collection recently. I have been in love with this fragrance. I wore this to Disney on Ice. We took our girls recently to Disney on Ice, and I'm very mindful about my surroundings when I'm wearing fragrance. If I'm going on a flight, if I'm going to be somewhere that is super packed with people, I am not going to put on like a super duper beast mode fragrance, because I'm just very mindful when it comes to those things, because I get headaches myself, and I've had situations where someone is literally fumigating the room and I don't like the smell of it, and it's literally the most annoying thing ever. I hate when that happens. So I try to be very mindful of that. So I went with Commodity Paper Personal for Disney on Ice, and it was perfect. It created a very nice scent bubble around me. I smelled clean. I smelled musky, like second skin, a little woody. Almost gives me a little bit of like a powdery vibe. I'm not too sure why, but this is just those types of scents where you want to smell clean, you want to smell inviting, and just it smells real nice without doing too much, but it's still noticeable. You can still definitely smell it. So ooh, this one just smells so good. I love it. If you like a light woody fragrance, it's not harsh, it's not super woody. I know some of the other Commodity fragrances, I've kind of struggled a little bit with the woodiness of them, but this one is the perfect amount. It's light and it's musky and it's airy, and just it's like second skin with a little bit of sweetness and woodiness to it. It's like a very clean woodiness. So I love this one. The longevity, I would say 4 to 6 hours, and then it turns into a skin scent. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And lastly, we have my absolute favorite fragrance. This, the moment that I got this, the moment that I put this on to test it overnight, I fell in love. And this is Juliet Has A Gun, Not a Perfume Superdose. So this fragrance right here, the first person who made me get interested in this fragrance was Aurilda's Makeup. If you are a Spanish speaking viewer of mine, I love her channel. She talks about makeup, fragrance, and true crime. So it's literally like all of my 3 favorite things wrapped into one channel. I love her channel, and she loves this fragrance so much. She said that she absolutely adores it, and I was like, how much different is it from Not a Perfume? Because that is one of my favorite fragrances. So recently, So Avant-Garde reached out to me, and they went ahead and they sent this over to me, and I was just so pumped to try this fragrance, and it did not disappoint. I'm so in love with this. If I thought I loved Not a Perfume, I didn't know that there was like a next level. This unlocked a whole different level to my love for these types of fragrances. This creates the most beautiful scent bubble around you, and it literally lasted the entire night that I wore it. It covered my bed sheets, smelled amazing, my PJs smelled amazing, my skin. I was in heaven. I felt like I was sleeping on like a beautiful puffy cloud with this fragrance on. Again, this is perfect for those of you who work as a nurse, who works maybe as a flight attendant. You want to smell good, clean, inviting, a little musky, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to just smell too strong. This and Paper Personal are really good options for that. They don't give me headaches. They don't smell sharp or intense, but they do a great job at making you smell good. Juliet Has A Gun, Not a Perfume Superdose is just gorgeous. When you smell this from the bottle, it could be deceiving, because when I smell it from the bottle, it almost smells just like a super duper clean room, almost like a hospital room or something, which many people do get that from these types of fragrances. So that could turn some people off. But when it mixes with my skin, I get this sweetness that starts coming out. It just turns into the most beautiful scent. It's hard for me to describe it, but it's just amazing. So if you're interested in trying this one, I believe So Avant-Garde has samples of this so that you can try a sample first. I am going to be sharing the link in the description box for the full size as well as for the sample size. And I will also provide my discount code on the screen so that you can get 20% off of your purchase from So Avant-Garde. That brings me to the end of today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I have been absolutely loving these fragrances, with the exception of the ones that are going to be leaving my collection, which is okay. I'm always going to be decluttering. Does not mean that I don't recommend these fragrances, by the way, because the fragrances that I'm decluttering, they're great. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just I'm ready to move on from those fragrances. But that's going to be it from me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you have any of these fragrances, how you feel about them. Can't wait to chat with you guys. And with that said, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one.